Since Joe Biden's taken office, 35 months, over 105,000 Chinese nationals have been arrested. Okay, 105,000. That's excluding the last 2 months. And let me tell you why I've taken away the last 2 months, last 3 months, because in September of this year, I'm looking at my numbers, 7,271 Chinese nationals were arrested. October, 7,166. A source inside of ICE told one of my colleagues, and they passed it on to me, the internal data is showing, and they won't post this until about another 3 or 4 weeks. November's numbers look like 9,000 Chinese nationals, the vast majority military age adult men. Okay, and now your audience, I need you to understand that this is just what we call it. 80% of the complete border at any given time is unmanned. Well over 80% of 90% of the border in Canada is unmanned. You have less than 25, maybe 2,000 agents in the northern border, 5,400 miles of the border in Canada unmanned. No one's there, okay? So people are pouring in to our nation undetected absconding. Now, you go back, you look what I told you, you go back to Darien Gap and Colombia. That is it. Colombia bottlenecks in South America, and they make their way up through there. There's a gentleman, I forget, I think his name's Anthony, and I apologize for not knowing his name, but he runs muckraker.com, and he actually went down to the Darien Gap and has been filming, and actually was kidnapped. And he's filming a hotel in Panama that just caters to Chinese nationals. In fact, they have Chinese menus, Chinese check-in instructions, because no one speaks Chinese in Panama. So they're just, it's just churning. And he interviewed, it's very fascinating, interviewed one of the Chinese nationals that agreed to be interviewed, pixelated his face and his voice, and they used a translator and said, "What are you afraid of?" And he said, "I'm afraid of the Chinese spies." And it was like, "In America?" "Yes." And he said, "They're police in plain clothes." So the Chinese nationals have, and this has already been documented, in New York City, they arrested and closed down a Chinese police station that they open up their own police station, you know, blacked out, underground, to monitor their Chinese nationals and any dissidents they have in America. So this is not fantasy land. This is happening.